Pieces of cardboard worth millions? Apparently so, and in today's video I'm going to go through the top 10 most expensive sports cards of all time. What's going on, guys? Matt here, back again with another video. Sports cards every day are becoming more and more regarded as art, as we see the rising sales each month with high-end cards. I've taken this top 10 list from Action Network, which I'll link down below, and it's updated up to April 2021. Before we start, smash the like button and hit subscribe if you like sports card content. I try to post every 3 days. And comment down below what you think could replace any of these cards in the top 10 all-time list in 20 years time. I hope no one comments down below a Zion Prism PSA 10 with a rising pop count of 30,000, even though I love him as a player. Coming in at number 10 at $1.8 million US, and it's a 2003-04 LeBron James Exquisite RPA, number to 23, graded BGS 9.5. Take this for what you will, but this is priced higher than any other MJ card that's been sold. But in saying so, MJ didn't have any true rookie autographs like LeBron James did. LeBron James commented on an Instagram post even saying that he had 2 of these cards himself. That's like another casual $3.6 million for the king. This card was purchased by Lior Avadar, who says purchase is part of strategy to bring something big to the collectibles and alternative asset business in the coming months. And it makes sense because if you research Lior, he co-founded and runs Lob, which is, quote, a software company making the offline world programmable, unquote. So obviously someone that believes and is financially invested in the alternative investing market. At number 9 at $1.8 million US, and it's a 2013-14 1-of-1 Logo Man RPA of Giannis Antetokounmpo, graded BGS 9. When it comes to high-end cards, NT is number 1 for basketball, if you truly believe in the player. So you can say with Giannis, this is probably the best card that he has available out there. There's actually a great story behind this card because originally in Giannis's rookie year, someone actually bought it for $7,000 US, but then returned it after noticing a yellow stain on the back and not attempting to clean it. So a 7-figure turnaround for the poor buyer. A huge gamble for the new buyer because if Giannis doesn't win a title, I can definitely see this card dropping. At number 8 at $2.25 million US, and it's a 2000 playoff contenders rookie ticket auto of Tom Brady, graded BGS 8.5. This Brady auto is numbered out of 100, and it's currently the most expensive football card ever sold. Funnily enough, I do see this card being overtaken as the auto grade only had a 9, so if another card out there has a 10 autograph, that will easily overtake it. Just like how I said NT RPAs are the holy grail for basketball, rookie ticket autos are typically the holy grail for football. So this card is the closest thing when it comes to the football go. Coming in at number 7 at $2.5 million US, and it's a T206 Garagiola Wagner of Honus Wagner slabbed SGC Authentic. I have to admit I know little about baseball, so excuse me if I get anything wrong, but Honus Wagner is considered one of the greatest baseball players of all time. It was initially put out by the American Tobacco Company, but Wagner actually stopped production of this card. There's a couple of reasons going around about that, and one of the reasons is that Wagner wanted more money for his use on the card, and another reason is that he didn't want kids buying tobacco to get his card. Because he halted production, it's estimated that he has anywhere from 50 to 200 in that set, whilst compared to the other players in that set who have hundreds and thousands. It's known as the Garagiola Wagner because a former MLB player, Joe Garagiola, actually traded his baseball season kit for the card itself. This included his hat, jersey, socks, and even his team jacket, which highlighted how much Garagiola loved Honus Wagner, as well as the game of baseball. Another great story which highlights the story behind cards sometimes. At number 6 for $2.8 million US, and again, it's the T206 Honus Wagner, graded PSA 8. This Wagner is known as the Gretzky Wagner due to the fact that ice hockey legend Wayne Gretzky owned it in the mid-1990s. It has since had a number of transactions, with the last sale occurring in 2007. This card, however, has a little bit of controversy due to one of the early sellers admitting that he trimmed the card to increase its value. Getting past halfway, and at number 5 for $2.8 million US, we have the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle, graded PSA 9. Now, Mantle was a 20-time All-Star, 7-time World Series champion, and 3-time MVP. This particular auction was actually sold by a former NFL offensive lineman, Evan Mathis, in 2018. Crazy price considering that back in that period, packs of cards only cost 5 cents for 5 cards, and this isn't even his rookie card. But this is also the first year that Topps produced baseball cards, which makes it an iconic set and an iconic card. Another reason for its high price is that Topps actually struggled to sell these, and after 8 years of trying to get rid of them with toy companies, the owners ended up dumping cases of them in the Hudson River. Hindsight's always key here, but just imagine if they knew they were literally throwing money away. At number 4, going for $3.1 million US, Again, we have the T206 Honus Wagner, graded PSA 5. Now you might be thinking, why did the PSA 5 go for a higher price than the PSA 8? And like I said, the PSA 8 being identified as trimmed will affect the price. People now regard this version of the card as the best available. and it's actually cut slightly bigger than the normal card itself, which is why it says MC on the card, which is miscut. Moving on to number 3 at $3.9 million US, and it's a 2009 Mike Trout Superfractor autograph. 1 of 1, graded BGS 9. Again, I don't know much about baseball, but I try to keep some tabs on other sports. And the one constant name I hear in baseball is Mike Trout. He plays for the Los Angeles Angels and he's currently the best player in baseball with 3 MVPs and 8 All-Star appearances. This specific card was bought by the infamous Vegas Dave for $400,000 in 2018 and was only resold last year in August. Referring back to art, Vegas Dave said, quote, "I relate it to art, like the Mona Lisa or a Picasso. There's only one in the world," unquote. The penultimate card at number 2 going for $4.6 million US, and it's Luka Doncic's 1 of 1 National Treasures Logo Man RPA. Like I mentioned with Giannis, NT is considered the number 1 high-end set for basketball, so this is almost considered Luka's holy grail card. This just highlights how much faith people have in Luka, as it's not just the most expensive basketball card ever sold, but also the most expensive modern card. The seller originally bought it for $400,000 US, so a huge profit for him right there. A lot of people disagree with the price initially because Luka hasn't done anything major yet, but I think you can't disagree with it if he does win a few championships. A hard task in itself, but Luka himself has shown that he's a generational talent. And lastly, number 1, you've heard it on this list already, going for $5.2 million US, and it's the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle, graded PSA 9. It's actually the same card as I previously said, so a casual $2.4 million profit for the previous seller. This card was bought by Rob G, who's been successful in the business world, buying and selling the clothing and CBD company Dope. I even heard on a recent podcast that he was offered $8 million US, which he declined. Rob believes it's the most iconic card in the sports world, and there's only 6 graded PSA 9s on the Pop Report. This card could possibly be overtaken as there's 3 PSA 10s on the Pop Report, so keep an eye out if a PSA 10 ever gets listed. In summary, the top 10 list finished with 6 baseball cards, 3 basketball cards, and 1 football card. You might be thinking with the current sports card market how that is, but traditionally baseball cards have always been number 1. We might see a shift in the next 20 years, and I anticipate LeBron James will have a card that features a bit higher. I'm also predicting a Mahomes card to potentially be there in the future, and whether we see other sports like soccer and tennis remains to be seen. That's it for today's video. I appreciate it if you've made it to the end. Let me know your thoughts down below, and as always, I'll see you guys in future videos. Take care.